Hey guys, so I just finished reading issue 191 of The Walking Dead today. Yeah, I know it's been a day. I'm going to be perfectly honest here before I get into my overall thoughts. I've been having a really hard time keeping up with the comic. I'm not going to lie, this current story has really been boring me, and I just really have not had the motivation to do a recap and review. I know I didn't do a recap of the previous issue, and I can't even remember if I did the recap to issue 189 as well. But anyways, as I was stating before, I'm just really not feeling the comic, guys. I'm sorry. And I just really have not had the motivation to discuss what's been happening. So, however, in issue 191, a very, very big event happened. So obviously I have to talk about it. So this is your spoiler warning. So if you are reading the comic and are not caught up to issue 191, well, you know the drill. So anyways, for the most part, I stand by my statement before. I was really not digging issue 191 at all. Kirkman's really kind of starting to go overboard with the overtly political tones, and that is certainly no exception with this issue. In fact, it definitely borderlined on preachy with Rick's speech that he gave to everyone at the Commonwealth. I was just sitting here thinking, oh, Jesus Christ. Honestly, it really bored me to tears. There was just way too much dialogue. But then yet at the same time, I should have realized that something was up, that Kirkman had really focused a lot of time on Rick, and I just started to sense something like, oh, I wonder if it's really happening. And then sure enough, boom, the last 3 pages. Yeah, Kirkman, you absolute mad lad. You actually did it. So it looks like Rick is going to die in the next issue. I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the whole thing. So to give a brief recap about what happened, obviously at the start of the issue, Rick was given this speech to the Commonwealth and also to Pamela in regards to how they live and how they lived previously and how they don't want to go back to the old ways and blah, blah, blah. So they ended up arresting Pamela, and then they took her to jail, obviously. And then towards the end, he had a moment with Michonne. I can't exactly remember what that moment was. Honestly, the dialogue just really flew over my head. I was really getting bored with it. And then, of course, he had a moment with Carl. And again, I can't even remember exactly what they were talking about. But then it's like after Carl and Rick parted ways, Rick goes to his, I believe it's his hotel room, about ready to go to bed when Governor Milton's son, I can't even remember the asshat's name, but he burst into Rick's room with a gun, and they get into a very heated argument. And of course, I'm sure as everybody else was thinking, I had it in my mindset like thinking, oh, he's not going to shoot him. No way, he's not going to shoot him. And then sure enough, he ends up shooting Rick. And he doesn't just shoot him, he shoots him right in the chest. So that looks like very much like a fatal wound. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually did hit his heart. So, oh my God, I can't believe. I know Kirkman has said that he's stated before that Rick is not going to survive throughout the entire series. So, and I know a lot of people have been trying to say, oh, he's just trolling, even though I'm probably one of the few that thought, no, I think Kirkman is actually being legit in what he's saying. And then sure enough, boom, this happens. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe issue 191 might be the end of the 4th compendium. It's either this issue or next issue. So that, and we've all been suspecting, because every other compendium, the last issue in the completion of the compendium, something major happens. I can't exactly remember what it was in the 1st compendium. I believe the 2nd compendium was the death of Abraham, and then the 3rd compendium was the end of issue 144 with the heads on pikes. So this cements the end of the 4th compendium, and that looks to be Rick's death. Of course, one thing that's really kind of pissed me off about this issue is that, of course, Kirkman had to end Rick's demise on a fucking cliffhanger. And that's really fucking annoying. It's like, give me a break. He did the exact same thing with Andrea, because, of course, if you guys remember, before Andrea died, the issue where she got wounded, she got bit, that particular panel was the end of that issue. That was the cliffhanger. And then sure enough, in the next issue, she actually does die. Now, it's like you have this issue, and it's just like, okay, is Rick actually going to die? Like, maybe they might have a doctor at the Commonwealth that specializes in surgery that could probably do some sort of surgery on him, kind of like what Denise did to Carl. But if that's the case, that is such a huge fucking cop-out. And I sincerely hope that because honestly, I'm not going to lie, if that's the case, I'm probably going to be done with the series. But at least if Rick were to die, that could open up some potential for some much more interesting storylines, because the Commonwealth was such a fucking waste of time. And honestly, I am so glad that it seems like they finally ended that arc. As far as what they're going to do next, that's all up in the air. So yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this issue, and I'm not gonna lie, now I'm kind of curious to see what issue 192 is going to play out as. Because, I mean, let's face it, guys, if Rick actually does die, this is going to be the biggest game changer for the entire comic series. And if Rick truly does die, I am really looking forward to what Kirkman has in store for Carl, because I think that this is going to be Carl's real moment to actually shine. And it'll be really interesting to see if he actually emulates his father or if he goes about doing leadership his own way. So yes, those are, again, are my thoughts on issue 191. I am curious to know exactly what everyone else's thoughts are that read the comic. So go ahead and post your comments down below. And until next time, dear friends, this is Cynical Lindsay, signing off.